All right. There we go. All right. So I was asked the other day what I thought the biggest problem was that people had with meeting their body goals. Um, One of the things that I see over and over and over again that's highly problematic is people change their workouts like every 2 or 3 weeks. Um, that's not going to get you where you want to go. I keep, I'll like look at the people come in, they're like, I'm not getting where I want to go. I'm not hitting my goals. And I'm like, cool. And they're like, but I've been working out real hard. I'm like, all right, cool. They're like 5 days a week. I'm like, well, that makes sense. And so they give me their workouts. Like these are the last 5 workouts I've had. And they're like for the past 3 months. And they're like different workouts. Their workouts change like every 3 or 4 weeks. And that's never going to get you where you want to go, body shape or function wise. The reason is because you've got to consistently work a muscle for it to grow. And so if every 2 or 3 weeks you quit working a muscle or you work a different muscle or you work something, differently, you're not going to get where you want to go. Um, we have people doing, normal bicep curls and then for, 2.5 weeks and they went to hammer curls and they went to, you know, weird, dumbbell curls where like it's like weird stuff. Like everything kept moving around, and they're like, I've been doing this for 6 months, and I haven't had any real growth, real change. Well, because you quit exercising muscles, you quit attacking the tissue and having it grow in the same direction. So that's probably the biggest thing. Like I have the workout I do, I've been doing for 2 years. Every once in a while, you'll need to modify something because it'll start tweaking something, or you'll need to add something to it to balance a muscle group or something like that. That's fine. Changing weights is obviously something that you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to go up in weight, but radically changing your workout over a couple of weeks. The reason that a lot of trainers do that is because people get bored because they're not focusing on their form. They're not focusing on what matters. They're just in there to kind of kill time. And if you're in there to kill time and you're just like, oh, okay, I want to spend 30 minutes a day or 45 minutes a day moving my body and sweating, that's fantastic. Like there's no problem with that. If that's where you're at, then changing your workout every couple of weeks is totally fine. And you probably should do that because exercising with no direction, no point, is still exercise. It's still going to be healthy for you, but it's not training. Training is exercising with a purpose. So if you want to build your delts or your quads or your glutes or whatever, you need to do basically the same exercises a lot for a long time. That's how you grow muscle tissue. So, changing things up all the time isn't going to help you design and develop and grow your body into what you want it to be. It will help with energy function. It will help with sleep. It'll help with mood. It'll help with depression. It'll help with anxiety. It'll help with, being able to consume foods and not get fat. Like it helps with all of those things. And it's going to help the cardiovascular system. It's going to help your brain. It's going to be wildly beneficial just moving around. And I love it. Like when you look at Vibe, and I love Vibe, I love this setup, I love what we did. We change it all the time so people don't get bored. But the purpose of Vibe is not to build your body. The purpose of Vibe is to just get some exercise, sweat, feel better, get your blood moving, get all those things going, loosen up the joints. Like that's the purpose of Vibe. And it's phenomenal at that. Like that's why our whole motto is feel better. Like come in, spend 55 minutes, feel better, and you will. And because it's everybody, like when you exercise, especially in a far infrared radiation, you're always going to feel a lot better. We have it geared up just for that. But no one's going to develop their delts or their biceps or their quads or their glutes, really well in really defined function doing exercise like Vibe or, more or less Pilates or something like that. These class groups are basically just to get in, get some exercise, get your joints moving and keep you from deteriorating. If you want to build your body, if you want to have, big butt and great legs, big biceps, nice defined delts, nice chest, you're going to have to pick the exercises or have someone pick the exercises for you that are best suited to that muscle group and then do them for a long time. That's really kind of where it is. So if you're trying to figure out like, hey, I want my delts or my biceps or whatever bigger, you're going to have to work on that. Like I've done the same basic exercises for my arms for 15 years, maybe 20. So, that's kind of where it is. Like, the best exercises for your biceps are bicep curls. because your arm does that. Resist this and do it a lot, and just do it really, really good form until it's exhausted, and your biceps will grow. Hammer curls works a little bit different function, which is fine if that's the direction you want to go. If you want to use hammer curls and standard bicep curls, knock it out. That's fantastic. But you're going to want to do those for a long time. Like what I've done for triceps is I've done the same thing for a long, long time. It's tricep press downs. The big difference the big change I've made between like the last 10 years is I went from doing both my hands on the stuff to just using single hand, which I did that mostly for function, move, and a lot more core work. There's a giant amount more core work if you're doing individual arms. So that's the bit, but it's the same exact motion. Instead of using both arms, I just use one. And like I said, it wasn't for my triceps, it was for my core. It was for my stability function. So, that's an exercise I've been doing for, I've been doing it. I remember doing it in college. So I've done it for a while. And I've got giant triceps, and because I've worked them over and over and over again. And so that's how that goes. So if you're not getting the goals you want, your body doesn't look the way you want it to, and you've kept changing your workout, that's probably part of the problem. So you want to make sure that you're attacking the muscle group over and over and over again. Like when I design workouts for people, we'll be like, okay, the first thing is, what are your goals? Like, what are we trying to do? Like, do you have pictures of what you want to look like? That type of thing. Do you have specific goals for function? Are you a CrossFit person? You want to do really good in the CrossFit games? Do you want to get on stage? Do you just want to have, nice shoulders and arms and butt? And like, what are your goals? Like, that's the primary thing. Then we design exercises around that. And then I'm like, go do those exercises and tell me if they hurt. If people come in like, they do kind of hurt. Well, it's because your body's impinged. And so we need to fix that issue. So we'll fix that issue. Once those stabilization exercises are done, we could basically go back to those exercises. Do they hurt now? I'm like, no, they don't hurt at all. Fantastic. These are the exercises that are going to best attack that muscle group to grow it in the direction you want to grow it. You just need to work it for a long period of time. And that's kind of where you go. So that's the biggest issue that I've been seeing, is that people expect their workout should change every 3 weeks or every month. And because that's how their trainers have done in the past. And that's not what you're wanting to do if you're trying to grow a muscle to a larger size. If you're trying to, like I said, if you're just trying to like get in there and check the box that you went and worked out today, awesome, fantastic. Change your workouts as often as you want to. Do a new workout every single day. That's fantastic. If that keeps you in the gym from a health standpoint, great. From a grow your body, grow your muscles, change the way you look factor, that's not going to be where you want to go. And this isn't to say that women are going to get super big and bulky if they do the same exercises all the time. Generally, what ends up happening, especially with the upper chest, back, shoulders, and arms, is that you just get defined faster. And one of the things and it's so funny to me, every single woman who's come in here I've worked with, who's been like, I don't want to get bulky. As soon as they start seeing the development in their delts, and they start seeing the cut here, and they start seeing like where you can define, that's a tricep, that's a deltoid, that's the bicep, they love it, because they're like, I look so lean now, even though half the time they're up in weight because they've gained so much muscle mass. Even though they've lost a bunch of fat, they're still up weight-wise, but they love the way they look because they've defined the musculature and given it some texture and given it some contrast with the things around it. And so now it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you have this beautiful form where you can tell you work out, you can tell you're dedicated, and you've got sacrifice and loyalty and all the things, because that's what it takes to actually grow muscle tissue over time. So that's the biggest thing I've been seeing, is that people try to change their workouts way too often where they don't have them designed for the body they want. That's kind of the biggest thing. Like a lot of my workouts based around function. So, like when you're 70, are you gonna be able to have balance and coordination? Are you gonna be able to take, steps? Are you gonna be able to, where's your balance as far as your fall risk? Are you gonna be able to have your shoulders and your hips and all those things work the way you want to? That's where a lot of our stuff is based off, or my stuff's based off of, lots of core functionality, balance, coordination. But you can also grow muscle tissue with the same exercises. So if you guys if that's a problem that you guys have had, stop changing your workouts, get a really good customized workout for the muscles you want to grow in the direction you want them to grow. So I want to look like this. I want to move my body from where it is here to where to this position, I want to look like this, then design your workout around that, and then just do that workout for, a year, 6 months to 3 years, something like that. Or like in my case, never stop doing this the same exercise because you want these things to be a certain size and a certain look. So that's where that is. I think a lot of trainers are doing things just to keep people engaged so they keep coming back, which is, again, great if exercise is all you're looking for, if you're not looking to have your body change and develop into something. But that's where it is. So if you guys have any questions, hit us up, questions@chalmerswellness.com, or drop them in the comments. Thanks for your time. Have a fabulous day.